I will be honest, Yuto Suzuki really had me worried there for a minute, and these last couple of chapters that we did this whole prison arc for Shin just to have him have his final kill stolen from him in the last minute by Torres or someone else. I am so happy that that is not the case as of what happened, but also that this turned around into being one of the best and honestly most earned Shin level ups that I think we've ever seen in the series. The whole point of going to the JAA prison was to look and find the fortune teller Atari, because hopefully she was going to be able to be an awesome mentor for Shin that would help him reach the highest peaks of his ESP power. Come to find out, Atari, the fortune teller, has nothing to do with ESP at all, and Shin is still on his own. We went down all of these crazy floors and fought with Joe Shackles, met up with Boiled, and taught him what it meant to be hard-boiled again, all for nothing, because we needed to help Shin discover the one thing that was holding him back from being the best assassin that he possibly could be, developing his strength further and reaching past his limits. Because no matter how much training he did with Kindaka, Nagumo, Sakamoto, Shin's physical skills had just hit their limit and he was not getting any stronger no matter what he did. We saw that even after all of the training, the power glove, the ESP skills, everything he put together was not enough to beat Haruma in the exhibition arc. So if he can't get any stronger, is this really as good as he gets? Be it due to genetics, poor visualization of being a better self, or outright bad luck, that physical peak is nowhere near the power level that's required to be facing some of the order level members or the members of Slur's gang that we're going to be going up against. Again, Shin barely escaped his fight with Haruma in the exhibition arc. And I truly think that Yuto Suzuki realized this as he was going through the exhibition arc, and that might be not only why we got such a weird end to it, but why we immediately pushed into a Shin solo arc right afterwards, because Shin is just nowhere near, at least he was nowhere near the level he needed to be at, despite the amount of fights and the amount of characters that are no longer low level anymore. And if he doesn't want Shin to end up like Lu, then unfortunately he's got to find some way to make Shin relevant. That's what tells me we are slowly working our way towards a big finale and climax with all of these major characters, because we cannot move the story forward until everyone is at the level we need to take on these threats. And Shin's new ability to mentally command someone and force them to do an action against their will was clearly the answer to getting stronger. However, with no one to really help him base any ideas off of and having no real mentor that understands ESP, Shin is on his own and spinning his wheels, not getting anywhere. And ironically, as I mentioned before, Atari didn't help Shin come to a new conclusion of his powers at all. If anything, she helped out for one chapter, made a gun out of clock pieces, and then dipped, which funnily enough just ended up proving that the advice that Kindaka ended up giving to Sakamoto and sent him on his journey against Torres ended up being very true for Shin as well. The only real way to learn and grow is to put yourself in the exact situations you're looking to be prepared for. For Sakamoto, that was repeatedly fighting Torres, an assassin of a higher level. And now for Shin, which we originally thought was going to be some journey of self-discovery that would lead him to his perfect ESP master, ended up just being an excuse for Shin to level up himself all from his own merit. Shin has been a very determined person since entering the prison arc. I mean, he was able to overcome Joe Shackles, someone who was clearly stronger than him at first, just by fully locking into that confidence that he had and knowing that no matter what happens, he needs to accomplish his mission and get to basement floor 3. Whether he needs to beat up a bunch of prisoners, make fun of some warden, he's gonna do whatever it takes. And we see, unfortunately, the downsides of that thinking take hold of Shin now as he's ready to kill Tenkyu, going against the family rules. Shin has always had this contagious courage and confidence and just determination in completing what he needs to do. It's part of the reason why he's gotten this far in the long run and why Sakamoto has always kept Shin safe. I mean, Shin's influence was able to affect people like Mafuyu way back in the JCC transfer exam, or even Natsuki Siba. And on Basement 1, we literally watched Shin inspire Boiled to remember what being hard-boiled was all about and bring him back to his roots. Even Heisuke in the recent chapters goes off to admit that he would not have been able to change his way ways and fit in with the Sakamoto family if it wasn't for someone like Shin being there to keep Heisuke in line along the way. Because if you think about it, Heisuke was an assassin and trained to be an assassin just like Shin. But if someone like Shin is able to step out of that life and live this new life alongside Sakamoto, why can't Heisuke? If Shin believes he was never worthy of being in that place and changing, then what does that say for Heisuke? Was Heisuke wrong to think he could change, and should he end up being someone that kills people too? I think the one important message that Suzuki is trying to focus on is Shin's claim to fame has always been his mindset. How strongly he believes in the Sakamoto family rules, his desire to do anything that's necessary to protect the people he cares about. And if anything, we could argue that mindset is what brought him to this next level, uncovering the secret of his ESP and allowing him to surpass Tenkyu. Not in a 2v1, not in a group battle where people are helping him, or a battle that Shin had to fight 75% of and then someone jumps in to clean up his mess afterwards, but with his own two hands, Shin grabbed this victory from Tenkyu and turned the momentum around completely, all on his own, all with his own thought process. Atari didn't help him come to that conclusion. He is simply using the environment around him and using everything he can with the tool set that he has. By using his ESP to push his body past its normal limit, he is inadvertently breaking those old limits that kept Shin below order level and buff him up to even perception blitz smoke demons like Tenkyu. Shin's ESP commands can only work on people once. That is the new rule that was learned. And it's all because every individual has their own unique neural pathway, their brains have inherent defenses against being taken over. Possession can only be done once. Afterwards, the brain just adapts and refuses to succumb to the ESP mind control again. That is, when it's used on another person, because Shin's brain is never going to defend his ESP from himself. Shin assumed that if his ESP works once on other people, it's gonna work once on me. He used that one chance he had to dodge that final arrow when he had his broken leg. Shin's base speed is not able to compete with Tenkyu's marksmanship. So Shin realizes that if this fight goes on any longer, I'm gonna die. And it's revealed that in that final second, as an arrow is coming right to Shin, he doesn't have any choice. He's considering death and goes, fuck it, I might as well command myself with ESP one last time. And surprisingly, it works. And although Shin doesn't realize it yet, it's because, again, his brain's never going to defend against his own possession. It's his own brain. Shin can command his own body to move as much as he wants, which gives Shin the idea to ultimately allow him to maximize his body's potential. If he can command himself to do things, even move on a broken leg, what stops him from pushing past normal level of strength, his normal level of speed? He can tell his body to punch harder, tell his body to run faster. It clearly works because Tenkyu, who was just running circles around multiple prison guards of the JAA prison, almost killed Atari. All these guards were all at least able to fight someone like Higuchi, who was at least strong enough to fight Teen Sakamoto in the past arc. Tenkyu just gets instantly put down and forced to submit to Shin. Again, the guy who a couple of chapters ago couldn't physically compare to Joe Shackles. Without the fortune teller, without Heisuke, and in the depths of Basement 4-3 all on his own, Shin resolved and found the answer to victory himself. However, what makes this time even more impressive is how far Shin has come in this battle compared to his last scrap with Haruma. And sure, Tenkyu was low on arrows, and apparently that heightened sight from his left eye makes him a little nauseous and wheezy, so that heightened sense of vision while helping Tenkyu fight from afar was also a little bit of a nerf as well. I wouldn't argue too much, and I would say Shin truly earned this win here. And if Shin is strong enough to actually take on characters that are in Slur's gang solo, I mean, this is exactly what anyone could have wanted out of this arc, and I would say we've pretty much come out of this a victory. Shin can finally step out of Sakamoto's shadow and be his own character. However, now we have another major problem, and that problem is Shin's power-up wasn't just arising from the need to beat Tenkyu. Shin's philosophy of needing to kill people and needing to be an assassin is what helped him unlock this power. So if anything, if it's so effective in giving him this power, why would he deny it at the final second? If it's that effective at getting him the results he needs, Shin might just need to be an assassin and break the Sakamoto family rules. And this does make Shin shed a tear before he makes that final lethal blow on Tenkyu, but it's not because Shin is hesitating to kill, or he's scared to actually go through with it. It's all because that even at this final moment, all the way at the end, there's not a single part of Shin that's fighting or questioning this decision. He truly, full-heartedly believes this is the way to go about things. And it's in this moment that Sakamoto appears to stop him. The one thing that I do love about Sakamoto's appearance here is that Sakamoto isn't showing up for once to save Shin or rescue Shin or steal the glory from Shin. Shin didn't need Sakamoto's help to get the win. What Shin does need help with is he needs to realize that to take down a monster, he doesn't need to become a monster. A lesson that Sakamoto has surely learned in his top hitman life. I am excited to see what happens going forward and where we're going to end this prison arc off with, especially now that Shin has reached the peak that he's trying to hit. Sakamoto, will he be able to convince Shin that he has gone down the wrong path, or is Shin really going to become this new shadow person? I hope not. I do think that while Shin is correct in realizing that some people just need to die, they can't save everyone, especially as I've said multiple times, going into the finale of Sakamoto Days where people are going to need to die and aren't just going to give up, especially these new order members, the leader of the order, the remaining people in Slur's gang, Slur himself. We might need to take some lives here. So either Shin is going to change and be like, you know what, Sakamoto, you're right, I'm stronger now, but I just need to not kill anyone. Or Shin is going to reason with Sakamoto, they're going to kill Tenkyu, and they're going to be like, damn, we might actually have to kill people going forward. I don't know what the correct answer is, but alls I know is Torres is also present, so I'm not sure if, again, he's now Sakamoto's new sidekick, we're all friends now that we've had dinner, or we're just going to break out into a Torres fight next. I don't know where the story of Sakamoto Days is going from here, but I'm excited to see it, and you already know I will be here every chapter to cover it with you guys. So if you enjoyed, hit that like button. It really helps the channel way more than you know. Subscribe so you don't miss any other Sakamoto Days videos or weekly reviews. Check out the main channel if you want to see some other video essay type content, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace, peace.